get the show set up. You know, can't forget the marvelous I forgot to say it. Um, what's it? You know, Muna, yeah, you know, Muna, and you know, so many ladies. I mean, you know, people who have fallen down, like people like Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, Jordan Grace. I mean, those ladies are.
Jordan Grace, man. Ooh, I remember when she was just a chunky, strong girl, and now, man, she's a fucking powerhouse, man.
Yeah, because I mean, when she
Yo,
was
she
wrestling,
is stacked.
she used to be with another girl by the name Lufisto, and he would call himself Pog, fat ass white girls. And you know, she always had a nice thick little body. But yeah, she's transformed. She last year she actually made her bodybuilding debut in a show in Atlanta. She is qualified to do nationals, you know, which means that she can get a pro card. But you know, she's busy because you know she just did a little thing with Roxy, Roxanne Perez on for NXT. Plus, she's a champion over in TNA, and she also still travels and do shows. I hope she takes the time, maybe settle, maybe she can try to get a pro card. You know, I knew quite a few wrestlers like Batista was a bodybuilder, John Cena, quite a few others who were in the bodybuilding world and got into wrestling. Here we got here.
Before I forget, for those of you on here that love sessions and that love Muscle Girls, just so you know, September 21 in Las Vegas, Nevada, Karma Club, it's the Session Girl event. Sponsor a match. Go on to the website, karmaclub.org, and sponsor a match. There's a bunch of girls. Some are muscle girls, some are not. So there's a little bit of everything for everybody. Sponsor a match. It could be the main card matches. It could be the after party matches. Sponsor your favorite girls. karmaclub.org.
Yeah, and I said this often, especially in bodybuilding, any sport, sponsorship does help. And guys, you have to be serious about it. I know when you want to send money, somebody says, "Hey, lady, yo, I
Like
think I got
the
this."
match that I want to do with Jackie She-Hulk. She's all the way in the Netherlands. We need $1,000 in order to bring her so that she
Ooh,
could do the match with me. And the match that she's gonna do with me, we're gonna do, since we both do boxing, kickboxing, and wrestling. We want to do a combination match. It's going to be more of an exhibition match where we show off our boxing, our kickboxing, and wrestling skills. And there's people that, because Jackie she is bigger than me, she's stronger. They're like, "Oh my God, aren't you scared?" No, I think it's a great challenge because I can see, what progress I've done as far as, my workouts now, see how strong I've gotten, and it's not about win or losing, it's about the opportunity to get to do a match with someone that is as awesome as Jackie. I mean, she is very talented.
mhm.
To be a person where not only are you a pro heavyweight boxer, but you're a pro heavyweight kickboxer and a pro wrestler in your country, and on top of that, she does the weightlifting, powerlifting, and bodybuilding. Come on, it's a great matchup.
Yeah. Here we got a comment from a man, Johnny 718 Bravo. He says, happy Friday. You sent you a small donation on Cash App. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you, Johnny. Appreciate that, brother. And also, this is from Kayla. You guys showing your age. Yes. I'm going to be 50 in November. So yeah, I'm not no sweet chicken.
I'm gonna
But
be 51 in December.
yeah, I'm like my man Doc Holliday. I'm still in my prime, but some days I don't feel like it. So, also he says, uh, I met mankind one time, well, years ago on internship. Actually, this is a true story. I met Ivan Koloff. It was like a few years ago. This was like the county seat is Lumberton, and they will open up a super Walmart, and he was there sitting there. I got a signed autograph with him a picture of Nikita Koloff, and it's somewhere in my room somewhere. And I asked him, "Hey, what's Nikita doing? I haven't seen him in a long time." He said, Nikita now he's a preacher in Charlotte. That's a town in the other ways where I stay. It's like a good 100 miles from stay at. And it's just a surprise to meet someone like that. I even remember when I was a kid, James Bone Crusher Smith came to our school and talked to us because he's from here in North Carolina. And to see guys like that, like Bone Crusher and Ivan Koloff, just seeing them fight, seeing them wrestle, it's a highlight for you growing up. Here It's from man KL. It says, when did you start meeting women bodybuilders, if I could ask? So, I know doing these sessions, like I know some women you have met. One lady we're talking about who was at that show is Paige Sanguin, and Paige just got a pro card. We were talking before. I know she was going through some stuff. She finally got a pro card. I hope maybe get on and do an interview sometime when she's settled down and she's not busy. Also, I remember I saw some pictures from Velvet Row. You had Marilyn Yee, she was there. I've done interviews with Marilyn Yee. Also, Rita West, aka Brooke. What's the last name?
Diesel.
Brooke Diesel. I also interviewed her. What's it like meeting these ladies and knowing, especially like someone
Well,
like
well, the funny thing is that I've always known bodybuilders and wrestlers because of my going to the gym and whatnot. But now the thing is, now I actually get to make videos with them and attend parties with them, which is even more cool. And it's always it's very awesome for me because I am a muscle lover. So the first thing I do, and you have to ask permission, and guys and girls watching this, you have to ask permission. Don't just go up to a bodybuilder, doesn't matter if it's a male or female, and just grab their muscles. No, no, no. You have to ask, may I please touch your biceps? May I please touch your abs? And they'll happily let you. Then you could ask, hey, I have some, you can say, hey, I have some coconut oil, I have some sesame oil. Can I worship your muscles? That's the next step. But you have to ask. So I always ask, I give them a hug, we meet, exchange, information. And then, I ask if I could touch their biceps. And it's fucking awesome. Rita has amazing muscles. Like her forearms, man. Like, wow.
Yeah, for a long time, Rita was a power lifter before she got into
Yes,
bodybuilding.
she was. Before she became a bodybuilder, she was a power lifter.
Yeah, she was living up in Syracuse, upstate New York, for a good while. I know she moved to Vegas some time ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I know she was one time. I sent her one of my care packages that I make, and she got it, because I think she has a son up that way, and they got it, and I think I don't know if she's thinking about coming back competing. I know she was like talking with another bodybuilder, Alicia Young, and they're supposed to start a thing called Size Matters, and they're promoting that. Here we got here, man, Davis. He says. I'll be 30 in August. God, seemed like 30 was a long time ago. I mean,
31.
it just seemed like when I got out of high school and started working, and I mean, it's just time just go by. I mean, it's crazy. If you could work with anybody, because I don't know if you follow any bodybuilders that are in the IFBB, who would you like to work with that's in bodybuilding?
I'll tell you this. As far as doing my muscle worship videos, the female fighting videos, and some of the other ones that I've done, like I'm very happy and fortunate to work with some of the bodybuilders that I have. I would like to work with Paige if Paige did videos. I mean, she did like muscle worship videos. I would like to work with her. And there's a couple here and there, but I'm not gonna name them yet.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know Marilyn Yee. She says she's going to be doing her debut in Tampa. Maybe she'll, swing up.
She's done a couple of wrestling videos and boxing videos in the past.
Yeah, I remember I saw it was one video. She was like, this girl was hitting her. She's like, she didn't need phaser. I mean, I saw it was a clip on something, but yeah, I mean, it is like something about, especially the female body with muscle. Is I'm a muscle person. It's just something different, and and we guys, we like to go on to, as I call them, the beat to meet websites. That's what they are, because that's what guys do, and it's just something different. But I know people don't understand that. I know there's
Well, I have to tell you that when I started producing the videos, because in the very beginning I was just doing a lot of superheroine videos and a lot of female fighting videos. And then I was having a conversation with a lot of the muscle girls that, that the muscle worship videos, they just had like a lot of guys that would muscle worship them and this and this and that. And that's when all of a sudden I got the little light bulb that went off, and I was like, what if I started doing muscle worship videos? It's a different switch because I'm a female, so it's totally different. And it took quite well. I was actually shocked, when people started buying the videos because it was something different. So that in itself, I guess, is a kink for many. You're like, oh, have another girl, worshiping a muscle girl. So
I think it's a fantasy for guys to see two women together, and especially in a sexual manner, And you just like a regular looking girl who just not built, and this is like buff chick, and she has these big muscles, and you just touching on her and putting oil on her. And right now, you give some ideas away for later, but it's just something that
well,
we
that's the
find.
other thing. That's the other thing too, that typically if you do see a video and it's not a muscle worship video, but it's an adult video with a female bodybuilder in it. It's usually a female bodybuilder with another female bodybuilder, or a female bodybuilder and a very slim girl. So here you have me. I'm Miss Chubby, but I'm a strong chubby bitch with nice calves. And you see me in the video and you're like, oh shit. Those sell very well too.
Yeah, guys have their fetishes. Here we got here from man. Kate Ellie says, uh, "Hey George, I don't feel old. Just saying. I don't care if you're old or not. I know I feel old. That's you. Yeah, you're no spring chicken either. So don't be saying, I know there's days when I get up in the morning, I feel my bones cracking, my body. Sometimes I wake up, I like it's just part of life. But yeah, it's just everybody have what they're interested in. And society doesn't, they want to put this like, okay, it's bad, but the fact is we're humans. I was talking with this is the same conversation we had with, because you kind of did the opposite end with the lady I interviewed a while back, that was Mandy, where she did it also, but she did turn pro, but she never competed as a bodybuilder. But it's a way for, as you know, bodybuilding is a very expensive sport, and it's a way for a lot of these competitors to make money. You can have a regular job, that's good, but the cost of traveling, and your friend can tell you this, the cost of traveling, prep, your coaches,
And
things
also,
that's involved in it.
to enter in all the different categories, you got to pay money for that too.
Yeah.
And I think I had spoken to you about this, where there was this one competitor in that competition we saw on TNEC. All I remember is the number. I think her name was Heather something or other, and her number was number 13. She was wearing a little pink outfit. This lady, great body by the way, was competing in every category. Every category. She walked out with nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking to myself, wow, man, this girl, like, she gave it her all. She put herself in every category, paid that money to be in every category so she could better her chances of walking out of there with a pro card. And even she didn't get one.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
crazy.
felt bad for her, because it's like, damn, I'm telling you, those judges were off the hook at that TNEC competition.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, judging, like I said, is kind of just, they go with the divisions. The people, like I said, this is what some people tell me. Judges go by what they see in front of them, and if you're in that best condition, or you have that look they like, then they'll push you for your opportunities. It's the big problem, I think it is, because I talk about how you get to the point where you see women in bodybuilding division, and you see women in physique division look more like bodybuilders, see women in figure look more like physique competitors, and then you have the TNA divisions, that's bikini and wellness. I think you told me there was like 600 competitors for bikini, and that's like a lot, because I think it's a lot easier division to get into compared to the other ones. You always got, you still got to come in condition when you do bikini, but you don't need that much muscle like you do in bodybuilding or physique.
There was even one girl. She must have been like 22, 24, around that age. Really nice. Everything was nice and tight. Everything was, she didn't have too much, she didn't have a little. It was perfect. The girl that won, how can I put this in a nice way? She had a nice body, but she kind of reminded me of the girl that won, when you're in science class and they're showing you anatomy and they show you the skeleton and they show you the little muscles on the skeleton, which is barely nothing. That's how the girl looked to me. And that's who they gave the first place to, rather than the girl that was nicely built. And people were
Works.
coming up to the girl and they were telling her, "Yo, you should have won that. They took that shit." I even went up to her and I told her, I told her straight. I was like, "Yo, they should have given you that. They stole that shit from you because that lady that won, she was a bag of bones."
Like I said, that's the thing about judging. Is the judges have a lot of control, and they don't set the guidelines and the rules. Where okay, like I just saw Sheriff here. I'm getting an interview with a guy who I know. His name is Glenn. He runs Amazon Fitness magazine, and she just did a show in Portugal, and she had a great physique. Her condition was good, but she just wasn't as even compared to her other competitor. And that the other lady, she had more full in the shoulders, more full in the legs. But the thing was, she's a little bit shorter. It seems like with the shorter women, it don't take much for them to put on the right amount of size of muscle. If you're taller, it's a lot difficult,
Yeah,
because you have to really train. This is the girl. She just won her name is Anastasia Levanova. She is from Russia, and she did the show before. She took second last year, and she won it back in 2021 in her pro debut. And the big problem with her is that if she get a visa and come over here, she can do. Her husband, he talks a lot of junk. I can't stand the guy. But if you want to beat the champ, that's Andrea Shaw. You have to come here and beat her. You can't just win a show and then hey, you can't make it. You wasted a spot somebody who probably really deserve it. And that's how it is. Sometimes I've seen shows where I see some women who look great, they look amazing. I think they deserve to win, but then I'm not the judge. I'm a fan and I'm supporting my favorite person. It's just the critiquing and judging is a tough part. Here, this is from my man KL the Wanderer. Shout out to KL. He's still